Hi everybody, Sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami uNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel sasifunde incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese siza la sokhuluma ngazo lezi ndaba esisuke sizifundile, sixoxela laba phela basuke bengenaso isikhathi sokuyifunda incwadi nalaba abanqenayo nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama-reviews, ama-recaps, siphinde futhi sikhulume nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. Ungakhohlwa ukuthi uma ngabe uyaqala ukusijoyina namhlanje upresse usubscribe la ngezansi ukuze phela uthole ukuze phela ube yimember yale channel, bese uphinde upressa i-notification bell eduze kuka-subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Guys, talking about the reunion is like today I woke up and I talk about the reunion, and now there was a reason for me to really talk about the reunion. Now I'm back to talking about the reunion again. This is like the third video today about the reunion, but I just did a video about a reunion yom Nawethu Happily Ever After, but now I'm going to talk about ama-seating arrangements. Phela I did say ukuthi thina we are the executivist. There's producers and there's executive producers. We are the executivist producers team. We are preparing for the reunion. Listen, we need to know producers ukuthi phela kuzohlalwa kanjani laphayana kwi-reunion. One thing, guys, if you are a reality show watcher like I am, if you are the crazy about reality shows, you would know ukuthi there is always a significance yokuthi ene umuntu. Number one, how much time do they spend behleli laphayana with the cast members when they are doing the show? Khona abantu abahlalayo permanently, they are there. Khona abantu that come in and sit for a certain amount of time and then bahambe. Bese futhi whichever chair ohleli kuyona, which side, number one, you are sitting on, whether you're on the left hand side or on the right hand side, has a significance. Also, the people that you are sitting with on your side has a significance, guys. Everything on TV is strategic. We have to learn that. So I'm thinking, how do we think they're going to be sitting this coming reunion when it comes to Real Housewives of Devon season 2? One thing that is going to be very confusing, I know, for the producers to make a decision on is how long. I know that the others are permanent cast members, but how long is Umabusi going to be at the reunion? Because what normally happens with somebody that is on the show but is a friend of the show, they are not there for the whole taping. So they will come for a certain time when they feel like the conversations are relevant to what they were part of on the show. So when they are discussing parts where she was there, a cast member, then they would call the cast member and they will only discuss scenes where she was there, and then they will say thank you very much for joining us, and then the cast member goes, and then they stay with the permanent cast member. Now, here's the trick with our friend of the show, which was Umabusi. Our friend of the show, which is Umabusi, has contributed in this season so far way more than the other housewives have contributed. Umakhumalo nje for one guy. Guys, what is Umakhumalo going to be sitting at the reunion? No matter which seat she is taking, what is she going to be there doing? What is she going to be discussing? Because there isn't a lot of conversations that she is having with the women, and at the reunion they discuss conversations, they discuss events that they went to, what you said, what you did. She's not saying much, she's not doing much. What is she going to be sitting there and doing? And here we have Umabusi, who is contributing. Let me say that, because the season is just we almost in the middle, we're not over with the season. So here is Umabusi who contributed more. Honestly, guys, as a viewer, I will be very mad if they make a decision that Umabusi is only gonna be there for as just a part of a show. I know she's a friend of the show, but I need to see her sitting there the whole time that they they are shooting the reunion. if it's in the blueprint of the reunion that a friend of the show doesn't come, they better break that rule this time, because I needed to be sitting there. But again, if we are real, it is a possibility that because Umabus is not a permanent cast member here, Real Housewives of Durban, we might not see her sitting there the whole time that they are doing the reunion, which is really gonna be boring, you guys. It really is going to be boring. So now we know that every time there's a reunion, the setup is the host is sitting in the middle. They sit in the couch, whether it's a couch or it's a chair, it's in the middle, and everybody else is around them. I think long ago, when the reality shows started doing the reunions in the US, they also used to do like setups that are like dinner tables, and I think it didn't really work. So usually they do chairs or they do couches, so they sit in a semicircle. So the host will have people on his right, and he will have, or he or she will have people on his left. I hear you guys want Anelem Dot. I'm like, I have to go and watch, because I didn't watch Anele that much when she was doing that show on SABC One. So SABC 3. So I really need to go watch some clips of her and see how she does the interview, for me to have an opinion on whether I think she will do well at the reunion. But it's so many of you want Anele Mtoto to host the reunion. I find that to be very interesting. So now, so let's say Anele, let's say your dream come true, and we'll be sitting in the middle. So right, that the seats that are next to the host, whether it's on the left or on the right, those seats are usually reserved for the people that were the most important for the season. Okay, whether you were important because of your storyline, your storyline was very impactful. It's a storyline that people talked about the most, or you were important because you had the most dramatic scenes. Maybe you had the most fights, or you had the biggest fights. There's always conflict on Real Housewives, but obviously some conflicts are bigger than others. There are conflicts that will carry on throughout the seasons, and then you will have those conflicts that will pop up and then die, and then pop up and then die, and pop up and then die. The thing about Real Housewives of Durban season 2 is that we don't have a long lasting conflict. We have pop-ups, and even those pop-ups are all about Nonku. Everybody wants to have a pop-up conflict with Unonku. So it's really hard for me to like make a decision who those two people are going to be right now. Maybe by the end of season we will know who it is. I just know that one of those people really have to be Unonku. It really has to be Ununkum. I would have said maybe then the other person that could sit on the left hand side, if her conflict with George or maybe continues, because it was a pop up conflict, but it really took a lot of people by surprise, and people really liked how she responded to it. I will say it's Mabuse, but Mabuse is not a permanent cast member. Also, what they try and do in the reunion is that whoever is sitting on this side also is the same person that had a conflict on this side. So if this person who's sitting on the right had was the most popular this season because of the conflict that they had this season, that conflicts they had with this person, so it would be the reunion, the heat. The most heated moments during the reunion will be between these two people. So it could be Jojo, or it could be Lonely London here. I mean, I think it really depends how Nonku's relationship with these people go. I know that there is a preview where Jojo seems to be making up with Ulokuzana, with Nonku in the next episode. So maybe by the end of the season they will be okay. But I don't see Ulondi London being apologizing to Nonku, and her and Nonku becoming friends. Instead, I do see them having even more conflicts now moving forward, because now Nonku's attitude when it comes to Lonely London is that, listen, girl, I know you don't care about me, so don't pretend that you care about me. And she seems to be like, you know what, I'm not going to apologize because I don't think I did anything wrong to anybody. So I think that their conflict is going to to be moving forward as the season moves forward. So I do see maybe Nonku on this side and maybe London on this side, since they're on the opposites of the conflicts. Now, what they try and do in the reunion is that people that sit on one side are people that get along, that are not likely to fight. Remember that season on Real Housewives of Atlanta, when Kenya and Ulokuzan, Kenya, who's this girl who just had a spin-off that didn't go so well, and when they had a physical fight during the reunion, that was the biggest mistake that they made at the reunion, where people who didn't really get along sat on the same side. So now what they try and do is that they will make sure that people that are sitting on this side of the host are people that at least are not likely to have conflicts with each other, and then this side, so it would seem like it's this side against that side. Because I mean, guys, we are people. Sometimes when somebody says something that irritates you, you can be like that, which is what happened with Kenya, when they had a fight. So they try and do that. So who's gonna be on which side? I do see Sorisha and Nonku. Obviously, Makumal is gonna be on the side where Sorisha is, and I do see Unonku on that side. Maybe they can put Mabusi on that same side, because even though Nonku doesn't get along with Lachongo, but Mabusi doesn't really seem to have her own personal issue with Nonku, so she might be on that side. But also, again, it depends if Nonku is gonna be there the whole time, and if maybe the piece that they are going to make in the next episode, Jojo and Nonku, continues that way, they develop their friendship. Maybe it's going to be at the end, meaning far from the host. It's going to be Umakumalo. It's going to be Sorisha. Remember, the closer you are to the host, the more interesting your storyline is. So it's going to be Umakumalo. It's going to be Sorisha, it's gonna be Jojo, and then it's gonna be Unonku, who's gonna be next to the host. Kahle nje Nonku should be a host ngoba she was a queen. She's been the queen of the show. And then on this side is probably gonna be Londi London right next to the host. And obviously they're going to put Hemge there next to her. Hemge is Hemge is Lachongo, and they're going to put they're going to put the mean girl, which is Annie, because guys, Annie is becoming meaner and meaner every episode, and her meanness, it seems to be directed either to Unoku or to the black girls. I really just feel like that, guys. Forgive me if I'm wrong about that. You can correct me in the comment section, and it will be Annie. And if, because there will be 3 people on this side and 3 people and 4 people on this side, they will probably sit Mabusi on that side when she's coming just for her scene. Guys, last season we had Umama, Queen just joining the reunion, which I never understood. And she caused the biggest drama. She caused the biggest drama. I don't know if this season she will come, but she did have a storyline this season. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they moved out to Makumalo and just put the queen there, because she had more storyline than her. I'm not really like against Makumalo, guys. Well, I am against Makumalo being on this show, because I really don't think this is a show for her. But I just feel like she is giving us nothing. So we have nothing to work on. What conflicts does she have with anybody? Who is Makumalo's friend besides Usorisha? So it's like, even now, when I think about that seat, I do feel kind of like it's a waste of a seat. Put Umabusi there in that seat permanently. Let Umakumalo come in when they're talking about the pajama party and why she was wearing that bonnet that she was when she was wearing that bonnet, and maybe they can have that conversation about how she was introduced to the show, that black tie event and all of that. And after that, she goes out with the queen, and then the rest of the cast stay and they discuss real issues which we really want to know about. Guys, tell me what you think about it. Who do you think So far, because we don't have the whole season yet, we can discuss this at the end of the season as well. So far, who are those people that you think deserve to sit next to the host? They've earned those seats. And between Umakumar and Mabusi, guys, who do you think deserves to be there the whole time that they are there? Do you think honestly Makumar is going to have anything to contribute to the reunion so far? Do you think the queen should be coming and joining? Do you think the queen should be coming and joining the reunion or not? And do you think we're going to have husbands join? Because in most reunions, like you will have a segment where husbands come and they sit behind the. Maybe we can get Mr. Peter. Maybe Mr. Peter can come. Do you think the husbands should join? I really would like to see. The husbands there, because they did have a contribution. We did see Umselego, we did see Mr. Red, we saw Kelvin, well, umkhwena ka-Annie nolondi, like that's kancane. But we did see them on the show. Maybe they will have some contributions to make, especially umkhwena ka-Annie. Maybe he can explain that statement where he said that he's not going to be at any functions that Unonku is at. Maybe he can explain himself as to why he was so offended by what Unonku said. Guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Please like the video before Npumegiona. I will do a video where I tell you guys what the results were about who you guys want to host the reunion. Also, I will do, what did we vote on? Yes, who is coming next season, who is not. I'm gonna do the vote counts. We'll go to you guys, who did you vote for? But thank you so much for watching my videos, guys. I have fun when I make these videos, but I have even more fun when I read your comments, because your comments are even more interesting than what I'm talking about right now. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, Masini Pumagiona, and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngithanda kakhulu.